brothers, sisters, and others of all colors. Welcome back to another YouTube video. This time, we're going to talk about discipline, how it works, what's going on with it. Alright, so I love and hate discipline, okay? Because discipline is a great thing, being said and described in the worst way imaginable. Now, the issue with discipline and why a lot of definitions are vague is because value is not an intellectual process necessarily. It's more emotional. You feel value. You kind of you get an idea of it without really fully comprehending it. Right? Think of value like score in a video game. What gives you a bigger, your body's just going to do whatever gives you a bigger score, or whatever gives you the biggest score in the end, okay? But you got to figure out how to tune your body and how to tune your mind in order to change how it evaluates that score. And there's a number of mechanisms. There's like trust in that, and then there's the resistance. When you try to do a big thing, when you try to say like, oh yeah, I'm gonna lose 500 fucking pounds in 2 weeks, right? Well, not only is your brain saying that's not possible, therefore it's a waste of time. Time is valuable, therefore we're not gonna do it, right? But hold on. Oh yeah. So you got to develop a level of trust with, being able to get to that point, whatever point you define to be the point of value. And as per usual, I say start small. Now, okay, there's so many directions to go. Whoa, fucking huge ass speed, dude. This thing was like fucking at least half an inch in diameter. Probably 3/4 a fucking inch in diameter. Holy moly. Anyways. So, discipline is like value in, value out. And so, you face a lot of resistance with discipline. This is why, and we focus on the resistance itself and trying to overcome it. And that's the struggle of discipline. But does discipline really need to be a struggle? And the answer to that is hell no, it doesn't. Hell no, it doesn't. Discipline doesn't have to be a struggle. It doesn't have to be a fight to the death with yourself. It's pretty easy. All you gotta do is learn how to change your scoring mechanism such that whatever you aim, such that it's easier to build up faith or a sense of velocity towards the value. Anyways, I made that way too complicated. Basically, just learn to value better. Now, how do you value better? How do you learn how to value things better and operate within and around the world of value? Okay, the first thing, appreciation, gratitude. This is why the gratitude journal exists. This is why gratitude in anything exists. It's so that you can sort of intellectualize, you can connect that internal intellectual world, the thought world, the world of words, with the world of value. You look for value in things that you take for granted. Because value eventually is oh, well, duh, of course I'm gonna do this. It's taken for granted. That's the thing. Value is taken for granted. Let's see. So what is valuable eventually becomes normal, right? It eventually becomes commonplace. If this is good, then it's common now. It's not so good. It's lost its value. Alright? But in the process of constantly trying to increase the score, increase the number, you end up in a situation where you lose sight of the number itself. You lose sight of like what you're gaining from this. You lose sight of like, hey, like this is, you lose sight of the what, and you start thinking of like optimizing it basically, or trying to optimize it. But the what is the source of the number. Well, I mean, you're the source of the number, but the what and the why the what is also. Anyways, all this to say that just like think about things and add value to them in your life with your words, okay? Add value to the things in your life with words. That is what gratitude journaling is. When you add value to things in your life and you practice adding value, it's easier to add value. And it's easier to add value, then it's easier to become disciplined. It's easier to give. And if it's easier to give, it's easier to receive. Sometimes you end up in a situation that's so externally, like there's so much external pressure where your internal mind, your internal world has to fight back. And there's like an automatic process where you're like, oh, we gotta do it. We gotta do it now. All right. Your internal process has to do it for you in an automatic, unconscious way. This is not necessary. You are free. This is not necessary. You don't have to get to the bottom before you can get to the top, okay? Intention, understanding, these are also ways to add value to something. Personal value, relevance to you, okay? Like understanding how something is relevant to someone else is like you're empathizing with that intentionality. And by empathizing with that intentionality and the value that somebody else has assigned to this, you also practice that. So it's kind of like how, like, if somebody feels really good about something, and this is assuming that you don't have like some kind of like jealousy or internal problem like that going on. Like you feel good about it. You're like, yeah, I feel good about that because fucking ambulances are saving people's lives. Good on you. And that sound right there is actually designed to be as hearable as possible so that people can pay attention. Again, intentionality. Understanding the intention behind things is important because then you can empathize with that intention, and then the intention of the value. Okay? The next thing you can do is, hold on, there's another one. There's empathizing with the intention, and then there's, relating it back to your life. How does this add value to you? What is a source of value to you? What is a source of value? Okay? And then it doesn't have to be like the deepest source of value in your life. Like, oh yeah, I strongly value the independence, autonomy. I strongly value strength and control. I strongly value, like, it doesn't have to be like, oh, and then this one time when I was like 3 years old, like this adult said this. It doesn't have to be that deep. It just has to be like, oh yeah, I like tacos. I love their lovely flavors. How does this add value to tacos? Okay. Anything that's relevant or like topical or relatable for you, right? Because you want to bring the value to you. You want to make the value internal and subjective. That is how you add value, and that's how you create discipline. The next time, we're going to go into a little bit more detail because I'm running out of time on this government phone. Peace.